Shalom. I want to start giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching scriptures, among other things. Salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who doing this work in sincerity and in truth. And shalom to the sincere brothers and sisters who are at home watching the videos and do the best to please Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai. So this time I want to go into this video in this article. And it's part of prophecy. As you see, the title says that the German military chief says Pentagon has cut off all communication with German defense ministry. So that's part of prophecy, because eventually everybody's going to turn against America. So these are things that showing you that they are working towards this. Trump already did it with the tariffs that he put on all the countries. So a lot of countries got angry with him. They stopped doing business, or at least get less, things like that. And also, if you look at Curacao, where I am currently, you have Curacao and Aruba. They are like they are like countries within the Kingdom of Holland. And the Dutch military also said that they have no contact with with the American military, concerning what they're doing, concerning with Venezuela and the so-called drugs boats. A lot of them were also fishermen that they've been deleting. And how do you say that there's no contact between them? So they have the Dutch Navy and the military, the military from Curacao, they be on high alert, basically watching everything what's going on, because they said, like, if Trump and Maduro will start to fight with each other, then the missiles will fly over Curacao, and it happened already like a couple of weeks ago. One of the brothers posted a clip of that, and you saw missiles flying over Curacao. And of course, something can go wrong and drop on Curacao, and yeah, but of course, everything is Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing. But that's what it is, So, yeah, let me just jump into the article, because it's, like I said, it's part of prophecy. According to German Army Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Christian Freuding, the Pentagon has cut off all communication with the German Ministry of Defense. He said this in an interview with the American magazine The Atlantic. According to Freuding, he used to be able to send messages to the US Department of Defense day and night. Recently, however, that communication has truly broken down, he says. For example, a few months ago, the Trump administration failed to announce that several planned arms shipments to Ukraine would not go ahead. To learn something about American defense policy, Freuding has now contacted the German embassy in Washington, D.C. There, someone is now trying to find someone in the Pentagon to communicate with. The strained relationship could have come at a couldn't have come at a worse time. We're losing a true ally and a friend, just as an enemy is at our door, said Lieutenant General Freuding. He's referring to Russian President Vladimir Putin, who invaded Ukraine and is guilty of hybrid warfare against Europe. And it's funny, because now currently, the Americans are talking with Russia concerning peace in Ukraine, and they basically keep Europe out of it. Keep NATO out of it. That's funny, man. Europe has also been sidelined in the like I just said, negotiations aimed at bringing peace to Ukraine. It was Russians, along with the Americans, who drafted the original 28-point plan. The Americans later discussed the plan with Ukraine, and a series of amendments were made. A U.S. delegation, including Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law, is currently in talks about the plans with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said, yeah, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said today that he expects feedback immediately afterward. It's not yet clear whether Witkoff will also brief Europe. You see that? So these are all cracks showing you how they used to work together, and now they basically being left out. It's funny, man. And like I said, it's all part of prophecy. It's all part of prophecy because eventually everybody gonna turn against America, and the future of America is that they going to be destroyed. That's what it is, man. And yeah, let me just read this in the book of Obadiah. That's the book of Obadiah, and yeah, it's only one chapter, verse 2. Let me just start at behold, verse 2. Behold, I've made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. And that's the point that they are moving towards. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? You know, so with the space station, all these space project, all these things that they got, you know, and they used to be in the caves, you know, they are the only ones, you know, the so-called white people, the Edomites, that used to live in the caves. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, you know, the space stations, thence will I bring thee down, said Jehovah, you know, like the book of Job said, you know, it's only for a moment, let me grab that for a moment because I already butchered it. Let me see, book of Job, yeah. The book of Job, chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the cloud, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eyes also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. See that? So, yeah. So, Obadiah, back to the book of Obadiah, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said Jehovah. You know, because he's going down. So let me read verse 4 again. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said Jehovah. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? And that also goes into the rules. You know, if you the last statutes and commandments, if you believe it's in the book of Deuteronomy, where it's written, for example, if you have a vineyard, you know, you wouldn't take all the grapes. You know, you have to leave some for the travelers and for the poor. You know, especially for the poor. And you know, there are rules. You know, like somebody who's traveling, you know, he can eat grapes till he had enough, but he cannot take them with him. You know, so things like that. You know, the Most High had everything covered. But this also shows you that these people, you know, these Edomites in general, they never have enough. You know, if you look at America, yeah, they're busy with Trump, or with Venezuela. But why is it? You know, Venezuela might even have the largest oil reserve. So that's the main aim. You know, if you look at America, where they've been fighting war, there's always something for them to take. In those all these countries where they had, you know, where they were so-called fighting against dictators. So, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out, yeah, to the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushai? how are hid things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, said Yahweh, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, and understanding out of the mouth of Esau? And thy mighty man or Timan shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So there's gonna be, like you basically already see, there's no wisdom in how you say that? There's no wisdom in America. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put something. Let me. God. Yeah, I forgot to put it on do not disturb. But yeah. So yeah, man. So that's the future. That's the future. Eventually, everybody gonna turn against him. And let me see. This is the book of Revelations. Chapter 17. And let me see, I'm going to start at verse. This talk about NATO and America. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb. It's talking about Yahushua, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords, and the Kings of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the war sitteth, are people and multitudes and nations and tongues, because everybody used to walk. You see less, basically they start more and more countries start to do their own thing, but they have been walking after the philosophies of America, taking their so-called democracy, their system. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the war. So they, in the war is talking about America, they shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahweh had put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is the great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Chapter 18. After these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become an habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, because America is a consuming country. That's why they're always in war, because they have nothing there, to take what these other countries got, the resources. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh had remembered her iniquities. Yeah, like I said, I said it many times, the angels have been watching, recording everything since day one. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrowing give her, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall plagues come in her one day, and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. It's talking about this nuclear fire, and this, of course, the fire from the chariots. For strong is Yahweh the Most High, who judge her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off of the of the scare of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, because, like I said, it's a consuming country. It's a consuming place, so everybody, could make money by her. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchants any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood, tin wood, and all manner of vessels, jewelry, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, and the fruits that thy soul justed after and are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of a torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothing in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stone and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every ship master and all the companies in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city, wherein were made rich all that bad ships in the sea by reason of her coastlines, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. You see that? So that's the future of America, It's gonna be desolate eventually. Yeah, man. So that's the future. That's the future of America. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So yeah, all these things that you see going on, it's all part of prophecy. So yeah, we are in that time, and any moment things could basically turn around. The Most I put the spirit on this country, basically to, you're gonna see what's gonna happen with Venezuela. There's a very important thing all going on over there, because Nicolas Maduro ain't gonna give up just like that. He got the backup from Russia, and Putin already shows his teeth. Because they've been talking all this shit like Russia got all weapons and all that shit, but they know they can not stand. They realize, they know that they are not strong enough to stand against Russia, and Russia got backup too. China got his back, North Korea got his back. Yeah, they also have the BRICS going on. I know Iran got their back. So just to name some countries that are really against America, been taking the bullshit from America, had enough from the bullshit from America. They are ready to back up Putin also. So yeah, man. So yeah, with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, for teaching our scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all the Akyam across the earth who are doing this work in sincerity and truth. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.